Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Hope your coffee's strong and your breakfast hits the spot. And welcome to the very first Saturday check-in on the channel. Now, I thought it was about time these Saturday videos had a proper identity of their own, because honestly, these are some of my favourite videos to make. And it's where we can properly talk about the real side of all this without the pressure, without the noise. We can sit back, we can have a coffee together and sort of talk in a more chilled atmosphere. There's no clickbait, there's no drama. It's going to be just me and you checking in about our week on this medicated weight loss journey. So this week's been interesting because the scales have not moved at all. I am exactly the same weight as I was last week. And normally that's the kind of thing that can really mess with your head on Mounjaro, especially when your brain immediately starts going, has it stopped working? Am I doing something wrong? Have I stalled again? But weirdly, I'm actually calmer about it than I would have been a few months ago, and there's a real reason for that. So we're going to talk about that, we're going to answer your questions, and we're just going to sit back and have a proper catch up. I'm Does Midlife, and I have now lost 76 pounds on my medicated weight loss journey. I take Mounjaro every single Sunday, and I take a 10 mg shot to the belly. Now, this channel is all about sharing my journey, sharing my experiences, sharing the highs, sharing the lows, and sharing all the bits in between. Today, we're just going to have a little bit of a chilled out Saturday check-in, and a little bit later I will be talking about one of the best products that I have found whilst losing weight. And this one is going to blow your mind because it really is fantastic. And it's so simple and it's so simple to use. I think one of the biggest mindset shifts on this journey is realising that not every single week has to feel dramatic for progress still to be happening. Because a few months ago, a week like this would have sent me into full panic mode. I would have been on here going, oh no, it's not working, I'm in a stall, I'm in a plateau. I'd have convinced myself it was failing. The medication is no longer working. I would have started overthinking every meal, every weigh-in, maybe even sabotage the next week, because mentally I'd already decided I was stuck. But now I'm starting to realise there's a difference between not losing and actually going backwards. And I think a lot of people on Mounjaro or weight loss medication struggle with this part more than they'd ever admit. I know that I've had a good week. I've tracked every calorie that's gone in my mouth. I've tracked my macros, my protein, my fibre, my carbs, all the rest of the stuff that you need to do on this journey. And I've had a good week. I know that. So I'm not going to sit here, lose my head and think drama, 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 because I don't need to. This has taken me a while to get to this stage where I can sit back and go, I don't need to panic, I don't need to stress. And like many of you, I am still learning as I'm going. It's part and parcel of taking this medication. Is you don't just take it and become an expert overnight. You've got to learn about yourself, you've got to learn about your body, you've got to learn about what's going on inside your head. So I am still learning, I am still navigating my way through this weight loss medication. And bearing in mind, I'm probably 11 months in now. So even after all that time, I'm still learning, I'm still trying to experience what works and what doesn't. I think sometimes you just got to realise where you are, what you've done, what you've achieved. Take a step back. I have lost 76 pounds. 76 pounds. If I went back 12 months ago now, looked at myself, talked to myself and said, in 12 months' time, you're going to be 76 pounds lighter. Not a chance. Not in a million years. I was in that cycle, that binge restrict cycle. I was probably miserable, probably not enjoying life too much. Now I feel like I'm actually in my sort of peak physical fitness. I am as good as I've ever been. And I used to do an awful lot of cycling, 100 miles a day for 10 days, 150 miles in one day. I feel like I'm in a better physical state than I was back in those days when I was doing all that exercise. Where are you in your journey? Let me know down below in the comments. Let me know if you're happy where you are. Let me know if you're frustrated. Let me know if you're absolutely buzzing with it all. And let me know how your journey is going. And if you've got a question for next week's Q&A, pop it down below in the comments. Right, before we get on with the questions that you've sent in, that I'm going to try and answer as a non-medical professional, not a healthcare advisor, none of those things. I just wanted to show you a product. Now, there is an Amazon affiliate link for this in the description, but this is not sponsored. It is not an ad. It is something that I've been using for a while, that I've been meaning to mention for a while, but I've not actually done that. Now, this is what it is. Now, when you're losing weight, certainly for us males, you're forever putting notches in your belt. And then you lose more weight, you put another hole in it, and then you get smaller and smaller. And then eventually it splits across here because they're not meant to have the hose where they have hose. Now, I've been using this for a while. I can't believe I haven't shared it with you. And it's a ratchet belt. It is, honestly, it's the best thing that I've used on this weight loss journey. If you click on my Amazon link, I'm literally going to earn a couple of pence off this. This is not about me buying a helicopter, buying a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or anything like that. It is purely sharing one of the best things that I've used on my journey so far. Honestly, it is brilliant. You literally put it in there and it's all on a ratchet. Man Does Midlife, lost another £1. Man Does Midlife, lost another £2. And it saves putting all these holes in the belts. It saves ordering smaller belts all the time. It's absolutely brilliant. And I've got 3 of these. Check it out on the affiliate link down below, because if you're losing weight and you're putting hose in your belt and it's starting to split, get yourself one of these ratchet belts. They are absolutely, truly amazing. I promise you, you won't regret it. It's fantastic bit of kit and such an easy idea, such a simple thing as well. Anyhow, let's move on with the questions that you've sent in. There's been quite a few this week, so we'll see if we can get through them. Before we do the first question, just want to point out once again, I am not a medical professional, I'm not a healthcare expert, I'm purely someone who's taken this medication for a while now and has kind of learned a little bit along the way, sharing my experiences. If you're ever in any doubt, speak to your medical professional, speak to your pharmacist. This is not medical advice. The first question is from Michael Angela Stentiford 2103. Hi, has anyone else's sleep gone to hell? I can control about everything else, but now 9 months in, I wake every night at 3:30, so lie in bed, awake until 6 a.m. Is it the drugs we're on? Not something I've experienced. If anything, my sleep's got better. I'm not as uncomfortable, I'm not as sweaty, I'm not tossing and turning or waking myself up snoring and that kind of things, all the stuff you do when you're a little bit chubbier. It does seem like it is a bit of a side effect, and I can imagine that's horrific. You must be so tired if that's happening every single night. But it is a reported side effect, and the medical professionals kind of say that if this is happening for 2 or 3 weeks and is severely impacting your functioning, then you really should be speaking to your healthcare provider to discuss potential adjustments in dose. There's a lot going on when you take this medication. There's a lot of metabolic changes, there's a lot of brain activities and things are happening slower inside, and your blood sugars are changing and all that kind of stuff. My top tip would be speak to your pharmacist if this is becoming a massive issue like it sounds like it is for you. You have had a reply in the comments and someone else has sort of reported similar. So if you've had any experience of this, pop it down below in the comments. So my next question is from my old friend Angelo Milioto 5227. Myself and Angelo have had a little bit of banter to and fro in over the last probably 5-6 months. I just wanted to say it's always taken in good spirit. It's never meant in any other way than that, and I certainly take it that way, and I'm judging by your replies you also take it that way. So I do appreciate you showing up, and I do appreciate you asking the questions that you do, even if sometimes they're off topic, but that's all part of the fun, isn't it? So it's hello, how long have you been on 10 milligrams and are you planning on going to 12.5 milligrams? I've done 10 milligrams for 3 weeks. It's working well, but the food noise is back, sadly, this week. I've done 10 milligrams, I think it's for 5 weeks now. I found it a really good dose, if I'm honest, as well. I will go up if I need to. It's as simple as that, really. If I feel that the appetite suppression is not there, the food noise is getting a little bit too loud, then I will not hesitate to go up. Why wouldn't you? I would just see how it goes for a little bit, if I'm honest. If you can cope with the food noise, then all well and good. If you can't, then it's probably time to go up. Right, question KYDV, and I'm going to abbreviate this because I can't say the words very well. Do you think that when Ret or eloralintide is FDA approved and on the market, you will switch to one of them? It depends where I am in my journey. Depends if I need to be on the medication. I'm probably more likely to switch to Wegovy. I'm seeing a lot of stuff about Ret at the minute, and everybody's singing its praises and saying how amazing it is. Not yet approved in the US, I don't believe, and certainly we're always a little bit further behind the US, so it'd be a little while, I would imagine, before we get it in the UK. Open-minded to any of this, really. Like I said, depends where I am on the journey, depends on the cost. Simple as that. Another question, I've watched a couple of people in the UK who are on GLP-1 medication talk about how the prices went up and some had to stop taking it. Is there any insurance that covers a GLP-1 medication like there is in the US? Not as far as I know. Things are a little bit different over here. You've got two avenues you can go down to get this medication. One is with the NHS, the National Health Service, and the other one is private pharmacy. Either way, they're both prescribed by a medical professional. There's a lot of hoops to jump through to get it on the NHS. If you watch Gav's journey to weight loss, he's recently been approved for Wegovy on the NHS, so he no longer has to pay for the medication. He gets it off the government in effect. The private route is probably the most used route in the UK. You go for a medical assessment, you send in photos. If they feel that you are in a position where you probably should be taking this weight loss medication, they will prescribe it to you on a private prescription. You send them the money, they send you the medication. Right, I like this question. So this is from Core PC2MQ. Hi there, question please. Are you getting Mounjaro lethargic? I mean, sick and tired of thinking about Mounjaro. Fatigued about worrying if the scales have gone down. Worrying about spotting new side effects. I feel like Mounjaro is constantly on my mind. Wondered how you felt. Yeah, and I think that's part and parcel of taking this medication. It can consume your life. And the other thing I will say, and this is completely my own doing, I've got a YouTube channel about it as well. So if you imagine you're taking this medication and you're doing all the things that you just said, you're worrying about this, you're worrying about that, you're thinking about that, magnify that by about 10 times for someone who's got a YouTube channel about Mounjaro, constantly thinking of videos, constantly thinking about thumbnails, constantly thinking about what am I going to talk about on Wednesday, what am I going to talk about on Saturday. With the medication side of it, you're kind of living it. You've got to live it, I think. You can't just inject it, walk away and live your life as you were before, because it won't work. So it's there all the time. Should I eat this? Have I tracked that? Oh, have I been toilet for 2 days? All that kind of stuff. It does take over your life. And I'm kind of thinking that's probably the same for everyone. So I don't think you're alone with those thoughts. But it's a great question. Not an angle I've really looked at before, but then because I'm doing the YouTube, I guess I kind of expect it to consume my life anyway. Right, so the last question today is Praveen Pandey 3366. Hi, as I mentioned earlier, I started Mounjaro on March the 9th when I weighed 106.7 kilos. Today, May the 19th, I am 90.3 kilos. I take my dose every Monday, and this Monday was my 11th dose. On Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, my appetite is reduced, but from Thursday onwards, I start feeling hungry again. Since I'm constantly losing weight, do you think I should consider increasing the dose? I also do not have any side effects. Praveen, the thing is, and you've lost a lot of weight there, so 16 kilos is a great amount of weight to lose, so well done in that. So far that's fantastic. I'm going to do a video which is coming out on Wednesday, and this isn't me batting your question away, but the whole of Wednesday's video is going to be about dosing. Should I go up? It is by far the question I get asked the most, so I'm going to do a video about it. There'll be 10, 12, 15 minutes of video just about dosing, just about increasing doses and that kind of stuff, and that'll be out on Wednesday. I am going to answer your question right now because it's Saturday check-in and this is about the community. You're saying that towards the end of the week you start feeling hungry. That's not unusual. That is pretty much the experience of a lot of people taking this medication. It is what it is. As the dose within your body starts dropping, it's less effective, and that's the science of it, basically. It depends how well you can cope with that. For me, I've never wanted the medication to do 100% of the work. I like to feel a tiny little bit of hunger, a tiny little bit of food noise, and that's allowing me then to adjust, to make those changes and try and manage it myself, because if at any point I do come off this medication, I'm going to be going solo, aren't I? I need to learn how to manage these feelings, manage these cravings and all that kind of stuff. Ultimately, and this will be in the video on Wednesday, if you're losing weight, you can cope with the side effects, you can cope with the food noise, you can cope with the level of appetite suppression. You're losing weight, you don't need to go up a dose. All this medication does is manage your calorie deficit. You're only ever going to lose weight if you're in calorie deficit. This medication, yeah, it does lots of other biological things in the background. It does lots of other medical things in the background. Ultimately, what it is doing is managing your calorie deficit. It's allowing you to stay in calorie deficit in the easiest possible way. It's as simple as that. Right, so that is our first Saturday check-in video done. How do we feel that went? I think it was good. It was just really about, I want to make this a little bit more chilled out. I want Saturdays to be us sitting down, having a coffee and just talking about our journeys and that kind of stuff. So if you can comment down below, let me know your thoughts. If you've got any questions for future Q&As, pop them down below as well. Quick thanks to everyone for watching the videos. It is appreciated as always. If you could like this video, if you could subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, that would be amazing also. There are many ways to support the channel. There's never any pressure to do any of these things, but you can become part of the inner circle, become a member of the channel. All the main stuff's always going to be right here and it's always going to be free. It's just a way to support the channel. You can buy me a coffee or you can click on my affiliate links down below, including this bad boy. Honestly, one of the best things I've ever bought. Yeah, amazing bit of kit. I will be back on Wednesday with my Shall I Dose Up video. Thanks as always for spending a little bit of your weekend with me. It does mean the world to me. I know time is always precious. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend and enjoy the sunshine. And I will see you all next week. Thanks for watching.